My name is Ron Head. I'm the announcer for OVW. I'm Jamin Olivencia.
I'm Alex Silva. I'm Rocco Bellagio.
I'm Kerry Bodie, the Ohio Valley Wrestling fan advocate.
Raphael Constantine.
I'm Rance Red.
My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez. I'm Paradise.
This is Jack Black.
This is Ohio Valley Wrestling referee Chris Sharp. This is Sexy Sean Casey. I'm Chris Silvio.
This is Michael Hayes. This is Jason Wayne.
And you're watching Triple Threat Talk.
And welcome everyone to episode 42 on this eve of the Sweet 16 in March Madness.
Actually, it's already
yeah, it is already in progress.
No, it's getting ready to start.
It's getting ready to start.
In a couple hours.
It's
It'll be a while.
But
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's still, we've done 42 episodes. It's still hard to fathom that we do this Wednesday, but it's up Thursday.
Right.
Days are confusing.
Well, we do
the
so
days
much
start
on
to kind
Wednesday.
of run together.
We like to call Wednesdays around here Triple Threat Talk Wednesdays. I mean,
That's right.
we get together for dinner, we do the interview, we go to the OVW tapings, and then we come back and film. It's just a busy day.
It's a busy day.
And everyone says goodbye to us when we leave. They understand when we leave OVW that what we're doing is coming to film the show.
It's a good thing I have an understanding wife, and you have an understanding fiance,
Right.
and you, well, that's another story for another day.
Awesome.
Hey, less than 2 minutes in. It's already, let's jab him.
Lonely people are funny.
Hey, you know what?
Oh my, I've got you guys!
Hey, I'm so lonely.
lonely.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I am nobody.
Hey, he's not lonely. He has thoughts of Cody Rhodes in his mind each day. He's got that Cody Rhodes poster on his ceiling.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. So that way he can...
Hey, you know what? He's like Steve Carell in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. When he works out in the morning, he stares at that photo of Cody Rhodes. He's like...
Are you done?
On this episode of Triple Threat Talk, we go over the NFL headlines coming out this week. We will go over headlines in general. We're going to do NASCAR. We're going to do Full Metal Jousting. We're going to do March Madness, obviously. And then, obviously, wrestling. But to start it all off, viewer questions. Or
User questions.
Viewer questions, as it is. Viewer questions.
PostMaster, take us away.
I shall.
Away.
From the CAW interviewer.
Interviewer?
Yes. Oh. Who do you guys think will be the #1 wrestler by the end of 2012?
I say it every time that there's a major pay-per-view, but as soon as he gets better, I know they're going to be pushing Wade Barrett, so I'm going to have to go with Wade. I see literally no one better.
#1, it's a tough thing to answer because you could say is technically the guy who's WWE champion. Is he #1 or just #1 skill level in general? I'm gonna go with, in my opinion, I think the #1 wrestler at the end of the year should have the WWE championship, and I think the wrestler who has the WWE championship at the end of the year is probably gonna be CM Punk. I think Jericho's gonna win at WrestleMania, but I think Punk's gonna get it back. So I say Punk closes the year as #1.
Well, unfortunately, my answer to this question will be nobody will be the #1 wrestler by the end of the year because we'll all be dead!
Wow.
I thought that was funny.
Wow.
No.
That's a serious answer.
Well, hey, truth hurts. What can I say?
Oh, yeah.
Only kidding, by the way.
Hope
Only
so.
kidding.
Hope so.
That
Also,
was a Mayan reference calendar.
Yeah.
Mayan calendar
Yeah.
reference, by the way.
which, by the way,
It already happened.
yes,
Yeah.
it already happened because they didn't have daylight savings time and blah blah blah. So all
Blah,
you,
blah, blah, blah.
all you people
No,
that get out there,
what the deal is, what happened with that is, it wasn't daylight savings time. What the deal is, when the Mayan calendar was created, Caesar had not yet invented the leap year.
exactly.
And according to them, according to the Mayan calendar, we are already in the year 2013, and the end of the world. The day that they said December 22nd, December 21st, 2012, will actually, according to the Mayan calendar, be July 13th, 2013, which, as you all know, July 13th is my birthday.
That's not a surprise.
No, that's
So
history lesson only on.
That's awesome.
I like it. Only here can you get that kind of news.
Only.
Also from the CAW interview.
Oh.
That's why they call me the doctor.
Speaking of that, we'll get to that in a minute. Who do you guys think, and this is probably geared more towards you, will be the #1 men's tennis player by the end of the year?
I do have some tennis headlines a little bit later on. A few headlines from last week's BNP Paribas Finals, men and women. #1 tennis player at the end of the year. Let's see. I mean, Djokovic is #1 right now. He is struggling a little bit, but he's still playing really good tennis. Federer's playing well. Nadal. I don't think Federer has enough time to maybe get those ranking points back. So I still think Djokovic is going to remain #1 at the end.
I think Andy Murray. I think he's been coming back on
Number 4.
I think he's on the up and up. He's #4 in the world, like you just mentioned. He's had a couple of good matches, and as you recall a couple weeks ago, not to throw it in your face, but Andy Murray did have that great victory.
I completely agree.
And I definitely think that everybody comes up one last time, tries to take that charge, and I think this is Andy Murray's last chance to get the #1 in the world, and I think he comes away with a Grand Slam or 2 this year.
All right.
I'm going with Roger Federer.
Okay.
I mean, it's looking like, everybody was saying, oh, what happened to Roger? What happened to Roger? Well, you know what? He is like some ungodly number. He only has like 2 losses all year since he lost, was it last year in the championship to Nadal?
Oh, U.S. Open. Man.
U.S. Open. So I'm going with Federer. I think he's out to prove a point that, hey, look, Djokovic, Nadal, I'm still here. I'm still the king of tennis right now, and I'm taking back over. So I go with Roger Federer.
Okay.
What's going on with DWA?
Take it away.
What are you looking at me for?
Hey, you apparently had something you wanted to delve into us.
I got nothing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you mean this.
The sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My universe will never be the same. I'm glad you came. The sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My universe will never be the same. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came.
That's right, everybody. 36 days away. If you do the math, carry the 2. April 27th, 2012 will be the official comeback of the DWA. You're probably saying, if you're a hardcore DWA fan, you're probably saying, wait a minute. Didn't DWA start on April 26th, 2007? You'd be correct, sir. But April 26th, 2012 this year is on a Thursday, and Thursdays are for Triple Threat Talk. So it'll be the next day. So
Now,
stay tuned for that.
Can we give him a little teaser? Can we give him a little piece?
Piece of what?
A little piece of maybe a change that's happened on the destruction portion of DWA.
No, let them keep waiting for that.
You wanna
No
keep waiting for
spoilers.
that?
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I figured that would whet their appetite since they
Oh,
know the
come
date.
on.
They know the date.
Oh, come on.
Next week.
Next week?
Next week.
All right, we'll do a spoiler next week.
Not a spoiler, more of a preview.
More of a
So-
preview.
So, technically, if we were going by the Mayans, it wouldn't be on April 27th. It would be somewhere around, March of next year?
March of next year.
So
Yes.
We'll see you
Because,
March
yes,
next
because
year.
all 5 of you have a Mayan calendar are following
That's
along.
right.
We are following along. Anyway,
Yeah.
from Guitar Hero 32-14, with all the WrestleMania 28 matches pretty much set, which I can't wait.
Yeah.
Getting very excited. And ready to go. What order would you put them in? Wowzer. Let's try to delve into this, as it were. I'll name them off and we'll brainstorm here. We'll see. You have Maria Munoz and Kelly versus Eve and Beth Phoenix.
Also known as the ice cream match.
Right. You have Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus for the world title.
Yes!
You have John Cena versus The Rock. You have Cody Rhodes versus The Big Show.
Fail!
You have Chris Jericho versus CM Punk.
Best in the world.
You have Team Long versus Team Lord.
Snooze fest.
Triple H versus Undertaker at Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. And you have Randy Orton versus Kane.
8 solid matches.
8 very good matches.
Except for maybe one.
Except for maybe 1 or 2. 4 awesome matches. 2 so great, probably good.
Okay.
And then 2 kind of,
Right.
yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I think if they were smart, which they don't have the best reputation for being, I think they would start it off high and go Daniel Bryan, Sheamus match number
Well, they did that last
They did
year.
it last year.
They did that
So they
last
probably will.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a dark match, actually. I wasn't on TV.
No, I mean,
Oh, the
last
title.
year the title was
Yeah.
first last year.
World title.
Edge's match was
Edge and Del
first.
Rio.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably go Randy Orton Kane. And then from there, I would probably do the Divas battle.
No, they'll save that for later.
Well, they might.
Yeah, they're you know they're how they are about putting divas late in the show.
And then I'd probably do Cody Rhodes and the Big Show. And then I would probably go John Cena and CM Punk. I would do CM Punk, then John Cena and The Rock, and then the end of the era to end the show. Because I was talking about this. I know that they're billing John Cena and The Rock as the main event, but I really don't see that as being the main. Because who wants to follow the end of 2 legends? You know, the final battle.
Mhm.
I would not want to follow that match, and I think that it's appropriate that that match would be last.
Okay, I'm making my list here. I'm not ignoring the camera.
You're making your list and checking it twice.
Yeah,
Gonna find out who's naughty or
Yeah.
nice. Big B Claus is coming to town.
This is called Dead Air, people. Come on.
Dead
now.
Air.
Let's go.
You have your thing? You have yours?
No, I'm waiting on you, but I'll go. Okay, I think Chris Jericho and Punk should be first. Randy Orton and Kane should be second. Team Long versus Team Laurinaitis. I don't think it's going to be a very long match because it's not a elimination. It's first pinfall wins.
Mhm.
I think that'll be third. I look for Big Show and Kane to be fourth, or Big Show and Cody to be fourth. I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan and Sheamus will be fifth. The Divas match will be sixth. The Hell in a Cell match will be seventh, and Rock Cena will be eighth.
Looking at my sheet.
No, are
You
you?
pretty much did the same thing I did. I have Jericho Punk first. Then I have Orton and Kane. Then I have Team Long and Team Laurinaitis. I agree with him. I don't think it'll be a long match. It's not. I think people are under the impression it's going to be elimination. It's not. It's one fall to a finish. So that'll be a quick match probably. Cody versus the Big Show I'm not looking forward to, but it's going to happen. Divas match will be fifth. He said sixth, but I think it'll be fifth. Then Sheamus and D. Bryan. Then Triple H Taker. And then I think the show will close with Rock Cena.
All right, from the DJ Becca show.
Becca.
Who gets the next U.S. title shot against Santino Marella, and do they win or not?
I don't really care.
That's a very professional answer.
Yes. I don't care about your question.
I don't know. That is a tough one. I don't know who's in the position right now to really go after that, except for maybe David Otunga after this match.
Epic.
I mean,
He's doing Michael Bay.
He is soon.
but
Allegedly.
I guess I'll make that my answer.
Hypothetical.
I guess I'll do David Otunga.
I'm kind of with him in the sense where, like, I don't really see anybody who they throw against Santino. And first of all, ever since Jack Swagger was the United States
Okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ever since Jack Swagger was the United States champion, the belt really hasn't meant anything. I mean, Dolph Ziggler had it for a long time, and then it went to Zack Ryder, who deserved it,
Yes.
and then it got taken off of him pretty quickly to Jack Swagger, which people weren't happy about because a lot of people wanted Zack Ryder to have the title for such a long time.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Santino in a big shocker. And
Really? I didn't think it was that big of a shock. I kind of saw that one coming.
whatever.
Did you see that one coming?
Sure.
Whatever moves us along faster.
Way to back me up there.
Um,
I appreciate
no
But
it.
it just seems like the U.S. title is not really a main focal point as it used to be back in old times for the WWE when they had the belt. I might go with him because I don't really see anybody strong for the U.S. title. Maybe Zack Ryder gets a shot again. But I mean, since the feud's going the way it is with Team Long and Team Laurinaitis, I think Otunga gets the next shot. That's what I think, I guess.
I think they should bring Chris Silvio in.
Amen, brother.
Silvio!
I mean, he's one of the longest reigning TV champions ever. So why not bring him on to fight Santino for the U.S. title? It'd be amazing.
It could be the Falcon Punch versus the Cobra.
Epic!
I like
it.
the punch to take that one.
I think it would too.
If I had to pick somebody that's within the company now, I agree with him. I mean, great pick on David Otunga. I mean, it's the obvious choice. They seem to want to be pushing Otunga for whatever reason. I don't know because I don't really care.
Well,
But
now I kind of like him.
Epic, see? He's catching on.
But will they win or not? I don't know because I don't know if somehow the title's going to backtrack back to Zack Ryder.
I really don't see the U.S. title being important.
So I don't know. It's
not even defended at WrestleMania. Neither is a tag team title either.
No. From Cleo Rocks. If you could play any sport or wrestle, which one would you do?
I think I would probably play football. I come from a basketball family, literally. Like, my mom and my dad both played basketball, and I played basketball through grade school. I can defend with the best of them, like, honest to God, but I cannot shoot the ball to save my life. But I'm pretty good all around at football, so I think I'd probably see myself as a cornerback, or not a quarterback, but a cornerback.
Like sitting in the corner.
Yeah, I definitely see that, or middle linebacker, or free safety for sure.
Okay.
You know what happened last time you got on the football field? You got tackled by the little guy. I mean, come on.
It was a personal foul.
That was a personal foul.
So, you know, there's one point in everyone's life that's a wrestling fan that would pick this obvious one to wrestle. It's like, oh, I want to be in the squared circle. Then you see first and foremost and how much pain those guys go through, and then you start like, well, I don't think so. But you know, people that do it, obviously, so much dedication, so much heart. That's what they want to do. But for me, if I could play any sport, I'd probably play tennis. Played throughout high school. I've been playing since I was 13. I'm 24 now, so I'm playing for almost about 10, 11 years. I'm not trying to brag or anything. You'd probably be like, whoa. But I feel if I either A, played every day or more often than not, I could probably advance my game and go maybe amateur level or somehow pro. If I played more often, I don't play often enough as I can. I'd like to play. Ever since I got out of high school, I've gotten a lot better, but the thing about tennis for me is that I don't play as often as I should or can. But if I play more often, something I'd look forward to. But
well, as you said, I mean, we've all had that time where we wanted to get the squared circle. We've all done the backyard wrestling thing. Don't try this at home.
Too late for that.
But they do.
That's way too late.
Too late for that. For me, I think it's an obvious one. I think you all could figure that. I think I want to go left. I've always been big into racing. My dad was a race car driver for years, and I think it would be amazing to be able to get behind the wheel of a race car somehow.
Number 23, Jimmy Burgers.
What? Who was that? Who was that?
Number 14, Jimmy.
Epic. There we go. That's even more epic. Have you seen Cassius Ono?
Who?
Cassius Ono.
Who?
A.K.A. Chris Hero.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh, that guy.
Debut in FCW. What? FC.
What?
Who?
We'll get into that.
Serenity now?
Serenity now. FCW.
Quiet Lloyd Braun.
No, I haven't yet.
Don't do your research.
I haven't either.
So I guess that leaves me.
But we don't watch.
We don't watch FCW. Really.
But seeing as I am the...
You know, the two of us do something called work.
So do I.
Huh? What's that? Really? I did not know that. Oh, that's good to know.
He works on this show, yeah, but that means
to me.
That means you can stay on the computer when you're downloading this to watch all this stuff.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I did.
No comebacks.
Here's the thing, though. Before this question was posted, I did not see the debut. But during the post-production today, I was looking at the pre-production. I was looking at this question, and I actually looked it up. I did see Cassius Ohno's new debut, his debut promo, and I did see his match against Consequences Creed. And I posed this question to you if you stop on not paying attention.
We're paying attention.
We're paying attention. We're getting together the next couple of questions.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Jesus.
All right. So, you're aware of Consequences Creed, a.k.a. Xavier Woods.
Yes.
Very established veteran.
You mean the Black Rocky?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Apollo Creed, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's been there a long time. Mm-hmm. He's been in FCW quite a long time. He's paid his dues. He's been there a while. He's very good. Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, whatever you want to call him, his debut match is against Xavier Woods.
Right. Who's well known.
Right.
And established.
So, Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, picks up the win.
Right.
So, what's the timetable on Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, for being in FCW with the fact that his debut match, he beat somebody that's been there way longer than him, and Xavier Woods, But he comes in his debut match and wins.
Within the year.
End of the year?
Within the year, he'll be in WWE.
I think so. I mean,
I say by the end of the year.
I mean, he was already well
But
known. And
here's the way the WWE does things. And this is, we've all, like I said, we've been around with wrestling for a long time. Generally, I think I've only seen it not happen on 2, maybe 3 occasions, but generally, anything the WWE associates themselves with, the person's first match, they win. Generally. So I'm not really going to read too much into this.
Right.
Not yet. So I'm not going to actually, I'm going to backtrack and say not quite by the end of the year. Maybe not, but we'll keep an eye on it. It can definitely change, but right now it's a tentative.
Right.
No.
Yeah. It depends how he does in FCW, how he cuts promos and who he faces, and if he gets over with the crowd, because that's pretty much what FCW is, to see how he gets over with the crowd. Because let's face it, Chris Hero's already skilled enough, especially coming from the Kings of Wrestling in ROH. So we'll keep tabs on this and see what happens with FC with Cassie's Ono, Chris Hero in FCW. So.
All right, from Against All Odds 20. Another question that's a little near and dear to your heart, sir. Do you think that Cody Rhodes will lose the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania to push him to the world title soon after that?
No. I don't see the Big Show becoming Intercontinental Champion. I don't see that happening. I do, however, see him losing shortly after that. They're probably going to have to get right on the ball and get Cody feuding with somebody else so he can lose the title and maybe get a World Championship shot, but I don't think that's going to happen because, like I said, we've all seen Wade Barrett being pushed the way he is. Yeah, he's on the shelf right now. It's not his fault.
Big Show's fault.
I think Wade Barrett definitely gets the shot before Cody Rhodes, though.
I think I would agree with that if he didn't get hurt. I mean, that's obviously not his fault, but stuff happens, as they say.
I think this is gonna be their way of making it up to him because he was one of their bright stars, and I think that this is gonna happen.
But the timetable on Wade Barrett is unknown. We don't know when he's gonna come back. I think Cody will lose at WrestleMania. I've been preparing myself for this for many weeks. I do see it happening at WrestleMania where Big Show does defeat Cody Rhodes, and I cry, and I cry, and I cry. Then I get up and I cry some more. So I do see Cody Rhodes losing the Intercontinental.
I'll be there in person. I'll cry for you in person.
Thank you.
Just for you.
And then you can slip in your bed and look up at that poster.
He'll be a Fox and the Hound, though, so he won't be,
Headaches. You give me headaches. Anyway, so the question at hand is, do you think he'll lose the title and push him for the world title? Absolutely. I can't ignore how Cody's success has transpired over the last couple of years, especially since his big win last year over Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania in his hometown of Atlanta. A big win for Cody. He's definitely been Intercontinental champion longer than previous people. Usually they don't have the championship for maybe 2-3 months, and then that's it. I think it's time for him to lose the title. Unfortunately, it's going to be towards the Big Show, but stuff happens. And then you have to see what's going forward. He's going to face Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, or somebody completely different. So we'll see. But I think Cody Rhodes does get a push to the world title. It's unfortunate. I did agree with him. I think Wade Barrett would get the push first, but stuff happens. You get injured, and that's the name of the game. So I do think Cody gets a shot first. So I think Cody's going to get a world title, possibly by the end of this year, but I think it's coming soon. So.
Mark it down. I'm calling it episode 42. Write it down. Cody Rhodes versus Sheamus for the world title at SummerSlam. Calling it right now.
I'd watch that match with. I know who to cheer for. Let's go, Sheamus! Go, Cody!
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near you watching that.
Unfortunately, we'll have to be.
That's true.
Because none of us are going to LA to see it in person.
My friends, aren't they just grand?
So will he lose the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania? Yes, unfortunately. Like Big B said, probably so. Because, although the only thing that's making me kind of tear me away to go pick Cody Rhodes is Big Show is a failure at WrestleMania.
I don't see Big Show being the IC champion.
I don't either, but if they're setting this up for Cody's making fun of him. You're a loser at WrestleMania. You can't beat anybody. Then he beats Cody Rhodes.
The only thing that makes me, another thing that makes me lean towards Cody Rhodes is they basically did the same thing with Kane and John Cena. Kane demolished Cena, demolished Cena, demolished Cena, demolished Cena, and Cena won.
Yeah.
So that makes me think Big Show's gonna win.
And of course, there's always the way out of Big Show winning by disqualification. So.
Yes.
And then they have another match, which I
won't be surprised if that doesn't happen.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right, from Against All Odds 20 again. What are your guys' thoughts on Florida Championship Wrestling closing down?
Not so fast.
Not so fast. Once again, it's going to be a headline. We're not ignoring the question. We're just ignoring it for now.
For now. All right. And finally, from Against All Odds 20, what do you think of A-Train, a.k.a. Lord Tensa coming back to WWE.
As long as he doesn't have that stupid gimmick where he's a tattoo freak and all that stuff, I'm fine with it because I think he would be a great way to push the Funkasaurus up and coming. I definitely think that they would have a great feud with each other. And thank you. But as long as he doesn't have that stupid gimmick, I think he's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he did some research saying Lord Tensai, A-Train from
Prince Albert.
New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's his name. He's got a lot of tattoos, which look from the promo, if you saw it. But I think coming back, it's kind of weird because he did make a comment, and we'll see what happens. I mean, you never know. It could be somebody completely different, but all signs point to, A-Train, Albert, whatever you want to call him, that this is Lord Tensai. He did make a comment about a couple days earlier and saying he was coming back. I know this is laughable. It's just rumors, and my wife just had a baby, blah, blah, blah. So we've been fooled before. Jericho spouted off for months that he's not coming back to WWE, and look who's back in WWE facing CM Punk at WrestleMania, Chris Jericho.
So we all knew that was going to happen.
Right. So
we're not done.
I'm not against it, but it's just
funny. You're not against it. Against all odds 20.
I'm so tired of this.
Let me get you a pillow.
No, thank you.
He said he was tired.
I'm so tired of them bringing back people from the past. Stop. Push for the future. You have people that are talented. Stop bringing people back that are old. You don't need people like that. You have good, decent talent. Why bring people back? It just shows that they have no faith in their current talent. You bring people back like, for example, A-Train and Road Dogg and Royal Rumble and stuff like that. The past is the past. Leave the past behind. You have bright, young, great talent and right in front of you. Push them. Please.
Yeah, I mean...
Thank you.
Do we have to keep watching the Rhodes family tree continuously over and over again?
Well, that's
doesn't
different.
branch.
It's different.
Yeah, it just goes straight.
You're a horrible person.
I know. From the Michael Cage. A pretty in-depth question for you, sir.
Make it short.
What got you into tennis? And in your own words...
Who else words would they be?
I don't know.
Okay.
We could ask the doctor this question and it could be answered like that. But with you, it'll probably be 20 minutes later and we'll still be talking about it. Can you tell me a person who thinks tennis is okay but won't watch it? Okay. The importance of the sport in today's culture and how underrated tennis is.
You have 2 minutes.
This is a loaded question if I've ever heard one.
I got a minute and a half. What got me into tennis? I'll put it short and sweet.
That's what she said.
See, the more you berate.
Go ahead, let him
go.
Thank you. What got me into tennis is I watched the sport for a couple of years and I was never really interested in playing it. One day when I lived in Florida, I decided I wanted to play and I just picked it up. I really enjoyed it and I played it ever since. Played it in high school. Played it, recreational outside, parks and stuff. And then the other question, words, can you tell a person who thinks tennis is okay, you don't watch it? It's a very exciting sport, as you say, important to today's culture. It's definitely multicultural. People from around the world play it, watch it. It's a very popular sport. It's played in all different kinds of countries. It's very exciting, very athleticism, especially with people like Nadal and Federer. They make it look so easy, and the sport is not easy coming from someone who plays it myself. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's basically it. But it's a very enjoyable sport, and I enjoy watching it. I know they braid it constantly, but personally for me, I think it's a great sport, very athletic, a lot of great players, a lot of great personalities in the court, and I just think tennis is one of the best sports in the world. I am done.
Awesome. Epic. So that's viewer questions is what?
There's one more.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there is.
You forgot his first one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I almost forgot. Doctor.
Yes.
The Michael Cage wants to know, are you a real doctor, or is that a gimmick?
Gimmick? No, I'm a real doctor. Come on now, give me some credit here.
Where's your PhD?
You think all this knowledge that I bestow upon you comes from nothing? Of course I'm a doctor.
Yes, exactly what I thought we think.
Yes, I am a real doctor.
This can of Pepsi Max has more brains than the doctor, I think.
That response was utterly pathetic.
Just like
True Moo! Nutritious and delicious.
We're all about cheap plugs here.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
So that does it for viewer questions.
Viewer questions.
Keep them coming, we love them.
We love all the comments, questions, criticisms, quandaries, and...
Queries.
Queries, yes, thank you. So with that, we turn it over to the doctor, where he will anoint this week's viewer of the week.
Anoint away.
The Michael Cage, for your interest in my profession, I hereby
biased.
dub thee.
That's so biased. Oh my god.
I hereby dub thee. And he asked an in-depth question to Big B. I mean, who cares? Okay. Now,
How you like it?
How we go?
God, I'm going on vacation soon.
There we
Screw
go.
you both.
The Michael Cage, for your interest in both my life and Big B's life. There, how about that? I hereby dub thee this week's Triple Threat Talk
Viewer of the Week.
Thanks for joining in.
What a
Postmaster.
fail that was!
That was awesome.
That's what I think about that viewer of the week.
Whoa! Before we move on to headlines, I want to give a shout out to the CAW interviewer. He didn't leave a question, but it didn't leave this. Wasn't a question, but it was a comment. He said, watching the DWA, it's inspired him to do a CW league of his own. That's awesome. That's great. Have fun with it. It's a great time. Enjoy it.
And if you ever need guest commentators, there we go.
We're not going to do that.
Alright, so moving on from that, Big B, if you would.
Do I have to?
Yes.
It's getting old.
I don't
No,
care.
it's not.
It's hilarious. Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
What the heck?
He's dancing to the jingle.
Right.
But we have a new jingle to dance to this week.
We do?
We do.
What's that?
Tebow.
Oh, yeah.
Tebow. Tebow and the Jets.
That was horrible.
It's a Tebow and the Jets.
You're not going to be started on
This is probably the worst decision Tim Tebow ever make. For those of you who don't know, came out today. This is breaking news as well as another
29
story
minutes ago.
later on. Tim Tebow officially going to the Jets when everybody who knows anything about football knows he should have went where, Big B?
Jacksonville.
There we go, because Blaine Gabbert is horrible.
Can I go on this first?
Colin
Horrible.
Kaepernick had a better rating than Blaine Gabbert.
You know, Colin Kaepernick actually had the highest NFL rating in the NFL.
He played like 2
No,
snaps.
it doesn't matter. He was listed as number 1. He was. Guess what gets you a perfect rating in the NFL? 3 for 3, 61 yards, and 1 touchdown. Colin Kaepernick, the first 4 weeks of last year.
Good show.
Awesome.
All right.
For those who don't know, it is
Okay.
If
San
you don't
Francisco's
know,
back.
hey,
in order.
There's some more free stuff we'll get into after this one.
Yes.
I agree with him 110%, 120%, 150%. I don't know what Tim Tebow was thinking. First, he's with Denver, obviously. Then they go on that magnificent run, and they end up losing to the Patriots in the playoffs last year.
And don't run into our other headline doing that.
Yes.
I'm not.
Watch it.
I'm not. Right? So then, Tim Tebow he gets drafted by the Jets.
Drafted? Really?
Well, traded to the
There we
Jets.
go.
We'll get into why in a little bit. So the Jets get him. Worst is saying, really? Thought he wanted to go to Jacksonville. His hometown's in Jacksonville. He wants to play in Florida. It's no secret that he wants to go back to his hometown. So then, comes out later today that, there's some kind of issue with the contract. It's not finalized yet. There's some kind of, language that's worded wrong. It's not the right deal. He's not definite as a Jet. Then it comes out even later. This is what befuddles me to a T. Tebow had the choice. It was his decision. It's like, who would you vote for in an election? It's your decision. No one's telling you who to vote for. You pick who you want. So with all that being said, all the hoopla, all the negotiation, he doesn't go to Jacksonville. He goes to the Jets. And this is why this is a problem. Not only I think he would start in Jacksonville because Blaine Gabbert, let's face it, hasn't proven himself, and I think Tim Tebow would have been brought in to help Blaine Gabbert develop and become a better player and a better quarterback. He goes to the Jets, who, number 1, have Mark Sanchez. He's not horrible. And second of all, the Jets just extended his contract, so obviously they have faith in Sanchez to start. And I'll tell you this much. Tebow's not going to start over Sanchez. It's not going to happen. So for Tim Tebow to decide to go to the Jets is a big mistake on his part. I am at a loss for words. I don't get why Tim Tebow did this. I don't get it.
The only thing I can think of is this. And I get that Blaine Gabbert's a rookie and he's going to learn a lot. I get that. 10th pick overall, I understand. What I don't understand is when we watch this kid play, there was no glimmer of hope. With Christian Ponder, the kid is going to be good.
Yeah, they need a few pieces.
The kid is going to be good. You get a couple people up there, he's going to.
Yeah, the game against Denver, they lost 38-35, but Ponder could throw.
Ponder is amazing for a rookie.
Yeah, they got something in him. Keep him.
Yeah, and then we have other people. that had definitely shown. Christian Ponder, of course, is probably the best example from last year I can think of. You put that aside, Blaine Gabbert showed none of that promise. No. None of it.
And I was flabbergasted as to why. I mean, obviously everyone knows what happened with Jacksonville. Del Rio got fired because of this poor game decision. They said if they make the playoffs, he will be fired. So I don't know why they got rid of Garrard earlier. They just sealed their sentence by getting rid of Garrard.
Right,
So.
and it's one of those things that when it comes down to it, he should have gone to Jacksonville. Jacksonville was the place he could have started. He could have gone back home. Jacksonville would have started to sell out games for a little bit. Jacksonville had nothing to lose from this. Obviously, they're not to blame. I'm not blaming them.
No, it's not their fault.
I'm still on the Tebow bandwagon. The one thing that I can think of that the Jets need that Mark Sanchez does lack, and that is the confidence for a third down Wildcat play. If you want to run that Wildcat on third down, Tim Tebow is your man.
I know that, but
Tim Tebow is your man.
He can
and
throw.
Games are won and lost on third down. We know that.
I understand that.
And the Jets already were with the Wildcat with Brad Smith. They
Right.
would bring Brad
I know,
Smith in
but-
for this sort of situation.
Tebow should not be a
I
third down
realize
back.
I see what you're saying, but why not go where he'll fit? Like he'll fit with the Wildcat. When they want to run a Wildcat play, they run him out there.
But-
because you said it yourself. What? He can throw. Exactly. So, okay, Tim Tebow comes out there, and the Patriots defense, he's going to run. He's going to run. Guess what? Not every time. He can step back and throw the ball.
But
he brings a good mix. With Brad Smith, I think he ran every play but maybe 5, and all the times he stepped back there at QB. With Tim Tebow, he can do both. He can run and pass. So to say, he's a passing quarterback. You're right. He is. But why not put him in the Wildcat system with Mark Sanchez? He is a winner. Tebow's a winner. It's obvious. I mean, he beat the Steelers in the playoffs last year. He won, 7-4?
7-4.
As a starter last year. So he can get it done. He knows how to get it done. So is it kind of, befuddling that he didn't go with the Jaguars? Yes, maybe a little bit, okay? But why go somewhere where he's going to be on a losing team? The Jaguars are not going to get past the Texans anytime soon. And the Titans are better than the Jaguars. And the Colts, they're just retarded, so we won't even talk about them. But I don't blame him. Plus, on top of him going to the Jets to a more of a shot of winning, he goes to one of the biggest media markets in the world.
Yeah.
Why not? Take advantage of it. Put your name out there.
Two questions I have to pose to this decision. One is because are they saying something for the future? Because Tim Tebow's not a backup. He's not. He's a starter. Okay? He deserves a chance to start.
That's your opinion.
I think he should be a starter.
I agree.
Look at how he played last year.
I agree to an extent. But if he can go somewhere and be put in a system where it's going to work, and if you say it's not going to work, I totally disagree. It'll work for that reason. He can throw. You said it yourself.
Well, I know
he can pass.
And
so it will work. It will not fail.
The second question I have to pose is, then are they setting up for a Tebow takeover?
Here's what I think to that point. I think when you look at when Mark Sanchez signed his extension, it was before this whole thing happened.
Right.
Okay? I would not be surprised if the job is up for grabs and and Sanchez has to earn it back.
I guarantee it'll be up for grabs.
Frankly, Sanchez showed nothing last year.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not
off year for Sanchez. Off year.
And I think, if anything, the addition of Tebow there, he's your third down Wildcat quarterback. For sure. There's no questioning that. They think they can run that better with Mark Sanchez. The Jets are dumber than I thought they were. Here's the thing. Whenever you go out for something like this, you have to have some sort of insurance policy. And we've seen it. We saw it last year. We saw it with the addition of Kendall Hunter to Frank Gore. Frank Gore had one of his best years with the 49ers. Maybe that's what they're hoping to do with Mark Sanchez. The addition of another great quarterback, in this case, to nip on the heels of Mark Sanchez and say, hey, your job's up for grabs with one mistake. This guy's good. He's already our third down guy. Would you like us to play him the other two downs as well? I think that that's one of those things that the Jets have to look at. And I don't think it's a bad decision if they were to start Tim Tebow.
And it's like I said in a previous show, I don't exactly remember when, but if you remember, I said Mark Sanchez's problem is he has nobody there to push him. He has no competition. I've said that before. I said it on the show.
And Mark Cornell is not competition.
It was quoted by, he's lazy. He doesn't like to watch film. He doesn't like to work out. Well, guess what? He's going to have to now. Because if he becomes lazy and he doesn't want to work and he doesn't want to practice properly, because now he has somebody pushing him. There's a man there that is a winning quarterback in the NFL. Say what you want. Say whatever you want. He's a winner. And
a gamer.
And a gamer. And a whatever. Playmaker and a shot caller. I got that confused. But point being, I like the move. Obviously, for reasons we'll get into in a minute why he's gone anyway. But if he had to go, I think it's a good fit for what I said. He can make the Wildcat most effective because he can pass the ball.
To close this topic, I really thought he picked Jacksonville because, again, it's his hometown. And I thought Jacksonville would be a better place because if Tim Tebow went to Jacksonville, he'd be the face of the franchise going forward. He'd be the starter probably day one. I don't think Blaine Gabbert could beat him out in any day of the week. Goes to the Jets. He's not the face of that team. You have Mark Sanchez, who's been there a long time. Darrelle Revis, who's one of the bigger players on defense. So he's not the face of the team. Jacksonville, he'd be the face of that team, and he'd rejuvenate that franchise, get the people to go again. But the Jets, and you said yourself earlier, some people don't even want him there.
No, they don't. Cromartie said we don't need Tebow. We already have Sanchez. Why are we? What
So as we know, though, I mean, the Jets locker room the very last day of the season last year was not a place.
So I wish Tim all the best. He's a good kid, great football player, but I feel bad for him going to New York.
So.
And now I'm going to let Postmaster have this headline because I know he's excited.
Well, a couple other quick signings. When we'll get to the main headline. There's a couple other mediocre or semi-high headlines we need to get to. I know you're excited about this one, so we'll let him talk about this for a minute.
All right, so
Matt Flynn,
back up for the Green Bay Packers,
agrees to terms to quarterback for the Seattle Seafails.
Seattle Skittles. We agreed on it.
The Sea Chickens.
So very happy about that. He is gonna have to compete for the job against DeVar Jackson, but I think
what competition
is that?
Well, I do say this at the end of the year. Jackson showed sign of promise. He showed why he was a really good quarterback.
No, he didn't.
Okay, I watched all the games, so I think Jackson played pretty well at the end of the season. He's gonna have to compete for it, but I think Matt Flynn. The job is Matt Flynn's, but Pete Carroll has to say because he's the coach. He'll compete for the job, but I think they signed Matt Flynn for a reason.
Exactly.
3-year deal, so not a long deal, but long enough. I think this gives Seattle a good chance of possibly making the playoffs next year. They got Matt Flynn, good quarterback, great kid. Marshawn Lynch, nothing can be said about that. I think they're getting some new receivers. They're not done yet. Seattle's not done. The draft's coming up in April, so they got some time to get some key pieces on defense that they need. I think Seattle's in a good position. I like the Matt Flynn pickup.
If you think for 1 minute this is even going to be a competition, you're crazy. I mean, Matt Flynn broke the Packers quarterback record for most yards and touchdowns.
The overall record.
Yes, in a game. Tavares Jackson can barely throw 2 touchdowns in a game. Matt Flynn comes in and throws like 5 for like 550 yards. Welcome, Mr. Flynn, to the Seahawks, and he will be your starter
We just
next
hope he's
season
not a bust
for
like Kevin
Seattle.
Cobb.
No, I think I see promise in Flynn, and Flynn did say because he was going to go. I figured he would go to Miami because Joe Philbin went there. His offensive coordinator in Green Bay. He's the new head football coach in Miami, so you figure Matt Flynn would go there. He said he went to Seattle. He liked what he saw. Very comforting facilities. He talked to Pete Carroll. Really enjoyed the team, and he picked Seattle.
David Garrard.
This I didn't hear about this.
That's a great sign.
After being off for injury, he's coming back. He signs a 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. Good pickup by them, I think.
Absolutely.
I mean, it wasn't his fault he got injured. He's back healthy, rehabilitated, ready to go. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if he'll start for the year or will Matt Moore retain. I think that'll be a pretty heated debate and a good competition battle there for QB. Anthony Gonzalez, Colts wide receiver, is signed by the New England Patriots. Ooh. So a good pickup by the Patriots. I mean, he is very injury prone, but if you can keep him healthy, then look out. That'll be a very good target for Mr. Brady. So, and finally, we get to the biggest Oh, wait a minute.
Well, there's
One
two more
thing.
signings.
One more thing.
Two more.
Alex Smith signs a 3-year deal to remain with the San Francisco 49ers.
And we made another great pickup at wide receiver with Mario Manning.
And Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Well, yeah, I thought we said that last time.
I don't remember if we did or not.
I think we did.
It was worth mentioning it
Yeah.
again. Are you happy that Alex Smith has stayed around?
I'm happy with both their pickups because we saw what Mario Manningham could do when the pressure was on him. When Hakeem Nicks was down and out, we definitely saw that Mario Manningham could definitely handle himself, get good touches, get good reception, and make touchdowns. So I'm happy with that pick. I'm happy with our receiving core. Of course, our defense is back. Our only real loss is Adam Snyder at nose tackle, at nose center. So
Went to Arizona, right?
Yeah, I went to Arizona. So I definitely like. They were talking how the 49ers are tied for the first hand favorite for the Super Bowl. So I definitely like the direction that they're going.
Okay.
Well, I think if somehow, some way they were able to pull off picking up this next individual, they would have been a stone cold lock for the
And they
Super
were in
Bowl.
the discussion.
And they were very much into the discussion. It came down to San Francisco, Tennessee, and Denver. And you're thinking, okay, what are you talking about here? What do you mean, what am I talking about? Of course, everybody knows what we're talking about. We're talking about to acquire the services of probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Peyton Manning. And it come down to... he even told me as late as Sunday night it was looking like all steam ahead. He's signing with the 49ers. I mean, that's how...
all the evidence was there. Alex Smith was out shopping around.
Right.
You had him secretly being worked out in San Francisco. San Francisco was the first and only team to give him a physical until he was actually signed by Denver, at which point Denver made him go through the physical.
Right.
I mean, all signs were pointing towards the 49ers, and he just completely does a 180.
And if that happened, you thought it was braided before? Oh, boy.
And then everybody thought it would be Tennessee because he played his college ball in Tennessee. He has a home there. His wife is from there.
Tennessee offered him everything. It's a quick story here. There's a local Shoney's that was offering him a free stack of pancakes every day when he was in Tennessee if he went to the Titans.
Amazing.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen. He ended up signing with the Denver Broncos. Or now, as I call them, the Mile High Mannings.
I like it. I like it.
So, 5 years, $96 million.
But
Didn't we do a skit about that man getting money?
hold on.
Yeah, we did. Actually, we did. We did.
But pump the brakes for just a second. Because anybody at this point in time who gave Manning any kind of guaranteed money was stupid. So Denver covered their tracks really well.
Right.
Only the first year is guaranteed. Every year after that, he can get a physical. He has to get a physical, and that can lead to up to $97 million guaranteed. It's not guaranteed right now except for the first year.
it's not guaranteed, and even but so Peyton Manning goes to the Denver Broncos. I'm very excited about that. I was
It's a good pickup.
as I posted on my Facebook page the other night. I was a big John Elway fan as a kid. When he retired, I picked up on Peyton Manning. While Peyton was injured last year, I was all about Tim Tebow and the Broncos, so it's kind of funny that Peyton ends up at the Broncos. So I guess it's
Peyton, I've missed you so.
so I guess it's my destiny to be a Broncos fan, honestly. So I will cheer for them like nobody's tomorrow. I cannot wait. I want my jersey, and I want it now.
That's my money, and I need it now.
The one thing that I told them earlier at dinner is look for the phrase Peyton Manning to Demaryius Thomas a lot next year.
I mean, he has some good weapons. He has Demaryius Thomas, he has Eric Decker, and he has Eddie Royal. Eddie Royal's a little older, but that's okay. Demaryius Thomas, this will be his second year in the league, so he's still young. There's
Eric Decker's pretty fresh.
Eric Decker is coming off an injury, but he's going to be really good. He was very good for Tebow. He was a very good target for Tebow last season.
Running back.
Willis McGahee.
You have Willis McGahee at running back also. I think Noshawn Moreno is also running back there. Then you have two of the best defensive players in the league there. You have Elmas Dumerville.
From
Louisville.
From Louisville. And Von Miller, who was absolutely
He's a beast.
amazing
He's a
as a
beast.
rookie last year. One other thing, Denver also, me and him were talking earlier, and they're looking into bringing in Jeff Saturday to be his center, which would be amazing.
That'd be comfortable.
And they're also looking to bring in one of his favorite tight ends, in Jacob Tammy, from the University of
Kentucky.
So, little UK love there with Mr. Manning. You'd have University of Tennessee. University
How would that work out?
I don't know. So, very exciting stuff. In the end, he picks Denver Broncos. I think he was well comfortable with
First
John
team
Elway.
he visited, too.
That is the first team he visited. That is the team he spent the most time with, too, as well.
I think Elway was in his ear all the time.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. I mean, he was at Duke with him when he was throwing. So I like the pickup. Now the question I have for you all, now that we know where he's going and the Peyton Manning charade has finally ended, the Broncos were 8-8 or 9-7 last year.
8-8.
8-8, made the playoffs, won a playoff game, and lost in round 2
The
to the Patriots. With Peyton Manning as an addition and knowing what they have coming, and if they were to get his comfortable center and Saturday and to pick up Jacob Tammy, what do you see out of the Broncos for next season?
11-5.
I'll probably go Sam.
I'm going to say 11-5, 12-4.
Again,
I think they're going to win the
I
division.
need to look at the schedule.
Well, we looked at it earlier.
Well, I mean, you have to look at the schedule when everything's finalized.
Right,
Every
in
team,
what
every
order.
team is set. Yeah.
How many night games will Denver have next year?
Oh, boy.
Thursday, Sunday, and Monday.
Jeez, man.
If you had to guess right now, I'm going to say over under 5.
I'm going to say 3.
I say 4.
It's going to be a lot. You know they will, because Peyton didn't play all last year.
Because we know that the people in the Final Four of the playoffs get the most. So that'll be San Francisco, Green Bay. No, not Green Bay. San Francisco. Help me out a little bit here. New England, New York, and
Baltimore.
Yeah. I think those 4 guys, they'll probably each get 5 each. And then
They'll spread them around.
I think probably Denver gets 3 or 4.
Yeah, spread them around.
I wouldn't be surprised if New England versus Denver was the first Monday Night Football game of the year. I mean, Tom Brady
It's
versus
possible.
Tom Brady versus his nemesis in his comeback game. I mean, come on,
Wow.
what could you ask for? I mean that would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be.
So that covers Peyton Manning and all the wild free agency that's still going on. We still have a lot of free agency left. We have the draft still yet. Let's not forget the draft's coming.
A lot of football stuff.
So a lot of football
Football's
stuff.
right around the corner.
We love talking NFL. We can talk NFL just as much as we can talk wrestling. So moving on from that, we got some gauntlet. The hammer. I mean, the absolute wood was laid. So
Breaking news also today.
Yeah.
the Saints aren't so saintly, are they?
No, they're
But when the Saints go marching out.
Wow. They got Sean Payton suspended for a year. Greg Williams suspended indefinitely. Loomis is gone for 8 games. General manager. Several players
Joe Vitt.
suspended.
Joe Vitt, the
Joe Vitt is
linebackers
gone.
and assistant head
Yep.
coach, is gone for 6 games.
$500,000
yes.
fine and the loss of 2 second-round draft picks over the course of the next 2 years.
And also, I read this earlier on the way back to before we filmed. Jeff Fisher commented on all this, and he said the suspension for Williams is definitely warranted, which I agree with.
And I mean, what can be said except
This
for
this
had to be done.
We discussed what they would do, and I applaud what they did. It was perfect. They laid the hammer down, as PostMaster said. They deserved every bit of punishment they received.
You don't lie to Roger Goodell and get away with it. You just don't.
Somebody said today, they said, what's so bad about it? I'm like, are you kidding
Really?
me? Really? Yeah. I'm like, giving somebody $1,500 to go out there and knock somebody in the leg and break their leg. This is what I told him perfectly. I said, okay, I'm going to get my wallet out. I'm going to hand you $500, and I want you to go out there, and the first guy you see standing in the aisle looking for a product, punch him in the mouth. I was like, does that really sound like that would be good, or does that sound like that's something you would
How
do?
much you willing to go for money?
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. It's very bad.
It probably wouldn't have been as bad if they hadn't tried to cover it up and lie. But when the commissioner comes to you himself and says, "Hey, is this going on?" and you lie to his face,
Right. Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I think, it's like he said. I am applauding the penalty. It is well deserved. It is well handed down. I think if the Saints really, really wanted to show face and really prove that they're trying to erase themselves, fire Sean Payton. As bad as I hate to say it, because he seems like he'd be a good guy. Apparently not now, from what we know. But what does this do as far as re-signing Drew Brees?
I think this could hurt their chances, because Drew Brees doesn't already know what he's going to be doing. He doesn't know if he's going to sign, but I think he may miss the bandwagon. Yeah, there's going to be teams that will sign him no matter what. But I think if anything, he signs a 1-year extension with the Saints, and then he takes his services elsewhere because it's too. All the quarterbacks have been shuffled, and I just don't think that there'd be time for anyone to try to go after Drew Brees.
Yeah. Maybe he could be like everybody else in the sporting world and take their talents to South Beach.
Yeah, there we go.
So that takes care of that, and that takes care of the Saints, I think, for a while. So much for Super Bowl.
Not really.
So,
it's Serenity now!
It is Serenity now. So now, moving on from that,
Serenity now.
What?
FCW.
FCW? You want to cover that now? Or you want
that was a headline. That was major. That was big.
Well, that's a last.
You want to?
The last headline will be
okay. All right, before we transition to wrestling. So we'll now go to the doctor, who will give us his... We'll get to that in a second. Okay. It's listed on here.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get the jolly old update of Full Metal.
A lot happened this week, so just bear with me here.
That's okay.
During the black team practice, all hell broke loose both times because there were 2 jousts this week. During black team practice, Matt took a hit that appeared to be on target, and no one knew what happened. But part of the lance busted off on his crotch. Yeah. The lance. Can you imagine?
Do these guys wear a jock strap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fortunately, but
that's not family oriented.
It didn't matter. It went through, and definitely some terrible, terrible lacerations. Excruciating pain, sent to the hospital. The very next person that went up on him had the same thing happen to him. Josh got his crotch hit.
Good God, what is this?
Yeah.
It's very violent.
Is this a contest or something?
This Tom guy who got selected to do the first joust definitely was going after the jewels of the family, if you know what I mean.
Family jewels.
Matt said he would be able to get back on the horse towards the end of the competition. After the first pass of practice for the second joust, he got another groin injury. Since he was already chosen for a joust and was injured in practice, a choice to bring back a former competitor was made. They chose to bring back a guy who jousted first against Josh, was Mike. So since Brian Mike was on the red team, but since Brian, who had to pull himself out because of another crotch injury, there was 3 injuries at the crotch.
There's not a lot of crotch talk here. I'm just saying.
Triple threat crotch, actually. but since he was on the black team, Mike switches from red to the black team. So joust 1, black team's Tom and red team Paul. Tom gets a hit on the first pass. On the second pass, Paul gets a broken lance, making it 5-1. The third and fourth pass, both of them get a miss. The fifth pass brings another broken lance for red, making it 10-1. Sixth pass, black gets a broken lance, 11-6. The seventh pass gets red strike to make it 12-6. And after that pass, the horse got a scratch on his chin because of another broken lance. So everybody's getting hurt on. No one is safe on Full Metal Jousting. So they pulled the horse and put him on Praetorian, the speed demon himself horse. The eighth pass, both get a strike, and Paul is almost dehorsed, which would have given Tom the win. But instead, we go 13-7. The red team wins. Then we found out that there's another joust. They're doing 2-a-day jousting and 2-a-week jousting to get ready for the quarterfinals. Red team's Nate versus the new member of the black team, Mike. On the first, basically, Mike just gets obliterated because of a bad call. We talk about bad officiating in basketball. There was a bad call made against Mike saying that he dropped his reins, or saying that he did not drop his reins during a pass, which everybody saw him do, but the officials kept it as it was and docked him immediately, -5 points. From there, it was all downhill. The match goes up 17-3 when it started off 1 to -5. So the red team wins. The red team won both duels. So that's full metal jousting for the week, guys. And from there, we're going to go to tennis.
Yep, time for tennis talk.
So we go from triple threat crotch and talk.
Not too much tennis this week. Just the
back end.
The finals of the BNP Paribas Open, men and women's finals took place this past weekend in Indian Wells, California. The semifinals pitted John Isner. Good job by him to get to the semifinals, taking on Novak Djokovic. The other semifinal, one we're all used to, Roger Federer took on Rafael Nadal. Djokovic actually lost to John Isner in the semifinals, 7-6, 3-6, 7-6. Isner wins that one. Huge upset for Djokovic. Djokovic played well, but Isner just played a lot better. And Nadal loses to Federer, something we don't hear very often, but Federer did beat Nadal 6-3, 6-4. And in the finals, Federer, a little struggle in the first set. He did win 7-6, and then he got his act together and won the second set 6-3. Federer improves to 39-2 on the season. 2 losses since last year's U.S. Open. His only 2 losses to Nadal. The only 2 losses that Federer has, though he lost to Nadal at the Australian Open semifinals this year, and then he lost to John Isner, who John Isner beat Roger Federer on Federer's home turf last month at Davis Cup. And then the women's final was...
Let me ask something real quick.
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't watch a lot of tennis, but what little bit I watch, I kind of know some of what I know. I thought when it came to the men, it was a best of 5, and the women was best of 3.
Well, some tournaments are. Grand Slams are best of 5, but some like Masters tournaments, like the ones they play, like Indian Wells, and those tournaments, they sometimes.
I was just curious. Yeah. I know because a lot of times the men always go at least 3.
Sometimes it's best
sets.
of 5. But.
Okay, thanks.
So moving on to the women, number 1 Victoria Azarenka takes on number 2 Maria Sharapova, and Azarenka proves her number 1 ranking by beating Sharapova 6-2, 6-3. Azarenka's having a pretty good year herself, improving to 23-0 on the season. This is the best start for women season since Martina Hingis went 37-0 to open the season in 1997. That is tennis news. Coming up pretty soon, there'll be the French Open, and that'll be very exciting. So.
The French Open. So, doing a little going left this week. I take it we didn't have any NHRA action this week?
No, not this week. They had the week off.
They were on hold, all right. This past week, they were in the fastest half mile, Bristol Motor Speedway. And it was Bad Brad Keselowski picking up the win in the number 2 Miller Lite Blue Deuce for Roger Penske. His second straight win there. He won the August night race there and now won the fall race. There was a lot of calamity early, about 20 laps in. Took out Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, and a few others. 15 laps to go or so, my boy Smoke got smitten by a guy who lost his brakes and just ran Smoke over. But he rebounded for a 14th place finish. So they moved back out west. So after 2 races out west, they came east. And now they're going out west again to Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the Auto Club AAA 500.
And you may want to mention that the penalties...
That's what I was getting to.
Sorry.
I was getting to that.
Sorry.
Let him go left. Let him go left.
Sounded like you were ending.
No, I wasn't. I was transitioning to that.
Okay.
Let him go left.
There was something else about the NASCAR you wanted me to mention on the show, too.
Yes.
So we'll get to, what was it again?
About Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yes. Dale Earnhardt Jr., real quick, before I get to the penalties that were...
Anyway.
Dale Jr. is a collector of crashed NASCAR.
Yes, which is really weird.
Which is weird.
Interesting hobby.
It is an interesting
for a little E.
For Little E. But why not pick one of the most epic crash cars in NASCAR history? No, not that car. The car of cars from this year. Dale Jr. has acquired the Juan Pablo Montoya Jet Dryer incident car. It is sitting on his...
left of it.
Exactly. It is on his property in North Carolina. He has, I think, what was it, like 60 or 70?
60.
Crashed NASCARs that he loves to collect. He
In
has
his backyard.
In his backyard. I'm like, that's You can charge admission. I'd go see it.
To each his own.
Would you go see it?
Yeah, I'd go see
I'd
that.
go see that. I mean, come on. That'd be amazing.
Think about
Just
it.
have a
Trying to
little,
navigate through a little maze.
I know. That'd be pretty cool. Have a little tidbit about each one. You know, this guy hit a jet dryer. What? You know?
How'd that happen? Funny story.
It reminds me of Days of Thunder. And he's like, all right, now, I want you to back out on that track and hit the pace car. He's like, hit the pace car, what for? He's like, because you hit every other gosh dang thing out there, and I want you to be perfect.
The only thing I remember from Days of Thunder is Robin is racing.
That's right. So, Jimmy Johnson was assessed 25 driver point penalty. His crew chief and car chief were fined for $100,000 and suspended for 6 races. Hendricks Motorsports...
Tail Hendrick Motorsports?
No, Rick Hendricks Motorsports. Appealed the penalty. It was upheld, but they were allowed one more appeal. So they went to the head of appeals for a hearing this past Tuesday. And that penalty was... What? Huh?
I was just saying.
Yes, sir.
No. I'm
I thought you were
no.
Oh. That penalty was overturned, which is an absolute fail because if it had been anybody else, they'd still have that penalty. I think just because it was Rick Hendrick and it was Jimmy Johnson, they had a little favoritism. No, not favoritism. They don't do that, do they? So he gets his 25 points back. He gets to keep his crew chief. However, the fine does stand, and his crew chief is only on probation. So
That's a fail. That's the wrong answer.
that is the wrong answer.
That's how I was
Alex.
going.
That's how the wheels turn, I guess.
That is how. Oh my goodness. Aye. So to move on from the maddening that is NASCAR and penalties and crashed cars in a collector.
I like that segue.
Yeah, I think
Going
it
with.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's go to the biggest madness of the year, March Madness. That
My
is.
bracket's in the
And
trash.
how are we going to start this off? 2 15 seeds go down in the same day, one of which every single UK fan in the country is happy for. Duke goes down to Lehigh. This one I could have lived without, but Missouri goes down to Norfolk State.
That destroyed everyone's bracket,
That
including
destroyed
yours.
everyone's bracket.
Yeah, Missouri went all the way.
Look,
Now they're all the way home like the Three Little Pigs.
15 seeds have been beaten, or have beaten 2 seeds before. It only happened 5 times.
Very
before.
rare that it happens twice.
Now it's up to 7 times because it happened twice in the same day.
I need a drink.
Yeah, really.
UNC Asheville got absolutely hosed, and if you remember, you watched the special, I completely called that if somebody was going to have trouble with their number 16 seed, it was going to be Syracuse.
They did.
And I do not recall ever being more right about a 16 seed in my life. It was a 3-point game with 41 seconds to go, and then 3 calls back to back to back. Absolutely atrocious, which has led to the termination of the officials that were involved in the game. They completely screwed over UNC Asheville. It was determined. They're gone. They're history. People want to see this. People eventually want to see it because if you're not going to let these people win, why let them play?
Yeah.
If you're not going to allow a 16 seed to potentially beat a number 1 seed, just give the number 1 seeds a bye into the round of 32. It's absolutely uncalled for and atrocious and all sorts of words I can't say on a family program.
Whoa!
Why?
Easy, fella.
Why this is completely uncalled for and disdainful, completely ridiculous. 3 calls back to back to back that should not have gone Syracuse's way that did, that more than likely cost them the game.
Yeah.
3-point game turned into a 7-point game. Syracuse winning 72-65, and afterwards, I lost all respect I had for Jim Boeheim. Because he said luck. He was asked if luck played a part in it. He said absolutely not. We were the better team today, and I lost all respect. I actually liked Jim Boeheim.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
Before that answer, Jim Boeheim, that was a ridiculous answer. That should never even have been muttered. You know you had help from the officials. Everybody knows you had help from the officials.
He said mutter, not uttered.
Oh, that's right.
Jim Boeheim needs to retract that statement and apologize to the coach of UNC Asheville, who I felt bad for because all he did was he sat down and said, today Syracuse was not the better team. He said, I understand Syracuse is the better team on paper, but today UNC Asheville was the better team, and he walked out.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
It's a shame.
I mean, it was a shame. We should have seen the very first 16 seed beat a 1 seed, but due to horrible officiating that was finally avenged, we get Syracuse.
That's the madness.
I mean, it was ridiculous. Upsets galore the second day of the tournament continue with Lehigh State, Norfolk State, NC State, Ohio, Purdue, and Temple all moving on.
Who I called.
As well as UK and U of L winning their first 2 rounds as well, which takes us to the Sweet 16.
Oh, how sweet it is.
Syracuse, Ohio State, Marquette, Wisconsin, IU, UK, Baylor, U of L, NC State, who pulled another upset.
I like NC State.
I had them in the Sweet 16.
I like NC State.
That was an amazing. That was an amazing game with Georgetown, Michigan State, North Carolina, and Florida.
Florida looks very good. Florida looks very good.
They
Very
demolished
dangerous.
Norfolk 84-50. Ohio, Xavier, Kansas, and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati destroyed my bracket.
And this sets up the local match being the local 2 matches being U of L taking on Michigan State, and the one everybody wants to see, whether you're a UK fan or a U of L fan.
Get your popcorn ready.
The rematch of Kentucky IU, where IU beat Kentucky by 1 point at Bloomington. And a couple fun facts about the Louisville Michigan State game. Rick Pitino is 3-8 against the Big Ten in his career.
I don't know if that's a fun fact.
But on the flip side of the coin, he is a perfect 9-0 in the Sweet 16. So it definitely, and that goes back to Kentucky.
That scares me.
That goes back to
that
his days
scares
at
me,
Kentucky.
believe it or not.
So that is a couple of weird coincidences going on in this game.
Would you agree that possibly the reason why he's 9-0, it's evident that Pitino is a tournament type coach. I mean, he coached them up to win the Big East tournament. They won 2 very coin flip type games. I mean, they were tough games. They were only favored by like 1 or 2 in both of them. You think the reason why he's 9-0 in these Sweet 16 games is because he gets a week to prepare?
Absolutely, and that's what I said last week. Remember, I said he's a master preparer. I think that is a lot of the reason, because going into the tournament, with the exception of the last 2 years, I'm going to give him that. Even though, I'm a UK fan, but I do go for U of L this time of year. I thought it was funny, but, that Morehead State beat them because there's another local team. Yeah. So I was fine with Morehead State beating U of L. But
I'm sure Monica Lewinsky was happy about that.
It was very funny.
For shame.
What?
I said that he wins the first and third rounds frequently, and that's because he does have that full week to prepare. And in the event that he does go further after this weekend's games, he'll have another great chance to prepare.
Right,
and
absolutely.
Make U of L that big threat. But I'm telling you, the story of the night is going to be Draymond Green. I told you, I'm on record as saying I want U of L to win these games. I want UK to win all the way. But I want you, and I like the Spartans. I like them.
Just imagine the realm of epicness, as it were, if U of L and UK both make it out of the weekend.
They'd play each other.
They would play each other in the Final Four.
The
whole state would just shut down for the next week.
This is basketball in Kentucky, I'm telling you.
But it would be, oh my God. Like, there would be no work done anywhere. Like, offices, you might as well just forget it. If you need something done in the state of Kentucky, you might as well just
give up.
They each have 2 games to win before that happens.
Right, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying.
No, and I agree.
Because the next time we film, all these games will happen.
The thing is about that, I think Louisville's road is a tad easier only because Missouri is out of the way.
Right. And
I think so too.
But see, Duke is out of the way on Kentucky's side.
Well, they got Indiana to deal with.
I think Baylor would be tougher than Duke. I really do.
I think they would be, and I definitely think that UK Baylor is more than likely going to be the situation because everybody has said that the reason Indiana did win that first game is because of the Bloomington home crowd. It was not home cooking.
And the
as
fact that they didn't foul.
Yeah, and they didn't foul. I was on record as saying that
They should have fouled.
that
Was
they
a
should have
failure
fouled,
decision.
but it was a very well officiated game. It was
Yeah.
a very well played game. It's just the environment got to Kentucky. And on another side note, 7 local teams are in the Sweet 16.
That's amazing.
Very good.
That is very amazing. I mean,
Go local.
exactly.
The
I mean,
tri-state area
it's
has
in
7 teams.
in the state of Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. That's crazy. So going into the weekend, you know what? 16 teams are left going into the weekend. Give me your upset of the weekend. And
Ohio.
you think Ohio wins their game against who? North Carolina?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
You're picking that. What about you, sir?
I like NC State. Very good
That's
team.
my other upset.
They're very
I do
good.
like
NC State's a very good
NC
team.
State over Kansas.
They played very well in the ACC tournament. I think. No, didn't Purdue play Kansas?
Purdue's
played.
out.
Purdue's out.
They did.
Yeah, they lost to Kansas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, wait.
They lost by 3.
Yeah, NC State over Kansas is my other.
I like NC State. They played very well in the ACC tournament. I like NC State. They're very good.
I like NC State as well, and I'm going to say U of L over Michigan State.
I like Louisville as well.
I've heard a lot of people, even Jay Billis made this statement. He said he now thinks he picks U of L and UK to be in the Final Four. He said it the other day. I mean,
It's good. With Missouri out of the way, that's a very good possibility.
here's the thing. I think if they get past Michigan State, they can beat Marquette.
Yeah.
They've already beat them this year.
Yeah.
And who's Marquette playing?
Xavier.
No. Help me out here, Doctor. Who's Marquette playing?
I'm gonna help you out. Hold on. I'll be right back. The doctor will be right back.
Fail.
The Doctor will be right back. Oh, the Doctor's back, and the Doctor's here to join us.
So we got Kentucky versus Indiana. We'll just go through it. Kentucky versus Indiana, Baylor versus Xavier, Michigan State versus U of L, Marquette versus Florida, Syracuse versus Wisconsin, Cincinnati v OSU,
Wait a minute.
NC versus Ohio, and NC State versus
Wait a
Kansas.
minute.
I'm taking UNC out. I'm taking Ohio out. I
still think
misspoke.
so.
I don't know.
NC State over Kansas is the.
I have to pump my brakes on that one now. I think Florida might be more. I don't think Louisville can beat Florida.
I think they can.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's possible.
As a Louisville fan, I hope Marquette wins that game. I don't think they can beat Florida. Florida's too tough.
Well, we shall see.
Just saying.
I mean, it's like somebody quoted the other day, you must have been really Lehigh if you thought they would beat Duke, and you must have really been out of, it would have been
Looking brown
no
for you.
or there should have been, it could have been Norfolking Way that they lost to beat Missouri.
Interesting words there.
Yeah, so.
All right.
So that's,
And I like how everybody was saying, on a side note, that Missouri was a sexy pick. Sexy pick. What do you think about him now?
I'm sexy and I know it.
Whoa.
All right.
I know that.
Let's move on.
Moving on. So now we'll move on. Moving on to OVW wrestling.
Whoa!
Well, this is part of wrestling. So this is why I'm going to get to the after OVW because it's kind of pertaining to WWE.
Okay.
So I'm not forgetting it. Don't worry.
If you ain't first, you're last.
So now go move on to the wrestling side in OVW. Of course,
Yes.
as always, we thank OVW for all that they do. And now we have our weekly interview.
Weekly.
This interview this week is very different.
He's tall.
Very tall.
Something's wrong about this picture.
Yeah.
I don't get
So
it.
we interview a lot of people for the show: wrestlers, fan advocates.
Referees.
Still haven't got a film to tell you, which I know is really making him agitated. But it'll get there sometime.
It's his fault.
We're
I'm
gonna
telling you.
run
Get
out.
over this.
We're gonna run out of people eventually, so they're gonna have to just give us one anyway. But this week is ring announcer Mr. Ronald Head. Take it away.
And welcome all you Triple Threat Talk fans out there. This is the Doctor, and today I have the pleasure of introducing the best ring announcer since Howard Finkel, Mr. Ronald Head. How are you, Ron?
It's a pleasure, Shorty. It's always good to be here. What's the name of the show again?
Triple Threat Talk.
My favorite, all-time favorite wrestling talk show.
Triple Threat Talk.
I wake up in the morning just with anticipation, hopes and dreams, desires to be the man in the hot seat, or in this case, on the hot seat.
And the show is Triple Threat Talk.
Triple threat talk.
There we go. Ron, thank you, by the way, for taking some time out of your day. I know that you've got to. I know that you've got to have some more time to grow a little bit later on. So
What do you make? You're making more hype jokes. Championship Wrestling, Florida Championship Wrestling. And I got to meet him, hang out, have a few vodkas with him at the Cauliflower Alley Club in Las Vegas in California. He stood maybe an inch taller than me when I had the little pompadour haircut. So I get my motivation from all over. But did you have a question for me?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask you, what got you into being a ring announcer? What was your inspiration? What was your motive?
First and foremost, I, for the last 30 plus years, have been a hardcore wrestling fan. I've been watching wrestling as long as I've learned to operate a television. Starting with the AWA wrestling in the 70s, where I watched such great announcers as Mean Gene Okerlund, who that's where he first got his feet wet. And then moving on to the NWA with Gordon Soley, and onwards when I used to collect videotapes from Japan. Akira Fukuzawa. We're talking about Lucha Libre with Miguel Alonso. I hope I'm getting it, but I don't think he'll be listening. Is that correct? So I've been watching wrestling my whole life, and being an announcer is just a natural thing to do, especially considering that I'm this tall. So announcing has just been a natural outlet where I can help to get the other talent over myself in the process.
Well, we definitely, whenever we're in the audience here at Triple Threat Talk, we definitely enjoy the ring announcing, as does everyone else, because, well, thank you very much. As does everyone else, because of your high point. What's your high point so far?
So many. It's like picking my favorite kid, which I don't have. But I really love being part of the whole camaraderie of the locker room, especially at OVW. It's an honor to be working for Danny Davis, the most honest promoter that I've ever worked for. An honest promoter is oftentimes considered an oxymoron. Danny Davis is a gentleman who's always given me everything that he's promised, and more than he's promised. That's why I love Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Now, we do notice that, yes, you do have a great relationship with everyone in the locker room. But there's one guy that you make every week. You make everybody kind of chuckle and laugh. And who is that man from your home?
We're talking about the round. We're talking about the mountain south. Kenny Bolin. Well, I love Kenny Bolin. Make no mistake. I say these things about Kenny because I really think that his days are numbered, and I'm really worried about the poor guy. When I say little wisecracks like he's a few pepperonis short of a Papa John's pepperoni pizza, I say that with love. And he hears that, and he starts to salivate, and he wants nachos, and he wants Papa John's pizza, and the man is ready to have his heart explode on the commentator's table, like I thought it was gonna when Chris Bolin had his head shaved. So I say this really out of love for the guy, and I really hope that I'm not saving my best material for Kenny's weight.
Well, we definitely hope that doesn't come anytime soon. Ron, I do want to sincerely thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about that.
All right. Yeah, it was interesting.
You know, for once, when you interview somebody, you actually are shorter than them.
I know, right? A lot of these
Until the
guys
end
are
of the
more
interview.
muscular than me, but there's not a whole lot of them out there that are taller than
Well,
me.
this week he was a little bit taller until the very end.
Yeah, until the very end.
So, as always, we want
That was
to
a very good interview, brother.
it was very insane.
It was funny.
throw out some good names in there like Gordon Soley. Obviously, everyone feels he's the best announcer of all time. No denying that. We want to thank OVW for all they do each and every week. We come into their house pretty much, and we're welcome with open arms. We're doing this for a long time, and I know we've talked about it before, and I think Frank Miller, aka Trailer Park Trust, said it before. He's happy we're there because he didn't think we'd come after the first couple of weeks. We're dedicated to this. We want to do this. We want to promote them. They help us out. It's a joint partnership. We love going to OVW. It's exciting. It's great. We interact with the fans. Fans interact with us. It's just a great time. So thanks to OVW for all that stuff.
Yes, absolutely. We want to thank Terry P. Bodie. Go to his Facebook page.
Facebook.com/Terry P. Bodie.
And now apparently you can follow him on Twitter. So follow Terry P. Bodie at TP Bodie. Not toilet paper Bodie, just TP Bodie.
And he's got a
at
webpage.
twitter.com.
Yeah, more news about the Fan Advocate coming soon.
So,
So-
be sure and check that out.
Now we're on to the TV tapings. Family opens up the show. The family. And they announced
The
that
family.
Mikey Nichols, aka that team that says TMDK,
Those guys are
Very
amazing,
good.
by the way.
or the names are Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste, take on Switchblade and Guns for the tag team titles. TMDK puts on a good show, but Switchblade and Jesse Garza pick up the win.
Not
Not.
without a little interference from Trailer Park Trash.
Mm-hmm.
He came because the match ended, and Trailer Park Trash restarted the match and said, "This now match, since you made the match, I make the stipulations. So this match will now be for the OVW Southern Tag Team Championships, but Goddard's, Mr. Spectacular,
And Switchblade.
and Switchblade retained."
So then after the match, Bynum announced that X to C, it's actually Sean Casey and Rafael
X
Constantine.
to C.
Thank you. We'll take on Raul Lamada and Anarchia later in the evening.
I felt like you were supposed to help me out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
X2C, but it's too late.
So then after that, she also announced that Jamin Olivencia
Our interview from last week.
will take on Smooth Johnny Spade later in the evening. So that was pretty much the opening segments.
Are you doing the all of it?
No.
Anyway, so first match, before the first match took place, that was the first match, Goddard's and Switchblade. Adam Revolver playing more tricks on Devray, pretty much making a phone call to I believe his mother, saying that this thing is over. He wants to have peace. So we see more about that in the next couple of weeks. First singles match of the evening, Randy Royal took on Dylan Bostic.
With cheese?
No. Dylan Bostic picked up the win with Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks is with Dylan Bostic, and we'll see what's
You ever
going on
seen
with
Pulp
that.
Fiction?
No.
You've never?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to loan it to you and you're going to watch it.
Anyway,
And you will understand Royal with cheese.
I do like Bostic. He's a good kid, good wrestler. I really like Bostic. He's got a good future ahead of him. This is actually interesting. Muhammad Ali Vaez, took on Shiloh Jones, and Shiloh Jones actually picked up the win, which is a surprise.
Why is that a surprise to you?
I think Vaez is more of a,
You could be, but I didn't find that to be a surprise. I really didn't.
Well-
Yeah, I mean, it could have gone either way.
what? All right, so McNeil and Denver had some words in the back regarding Revolver. McNeil doesn't want Denver to talk to Revolver. This whole situation is very interesting with this threesome
And
that's going on
even
between.
more interesting.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Chris Silvio took on
Jose Del Barrio.
Thank you. Took on him for the TV title. And Silvio picked up the win as always.
Terry.
Oh, as always. Silvio picked up the win. Silvio's on a really good winning streak with that TV title. Team title.
Team Tata is in the building.
And then
that member of Team Tide talked to us tonight.
Yes, we
which is
did.
Really cool.
Last chance for Mary Jane.
Yeah.
One more time.
Anyway, so Anarchia and Raul Amada did pick up the victory over X2C. Thank you. Alright, so now main event time.
Main event.
The main event was between Johnny Spade and Jamin.
Valencia.
Ended in no contest due to interference from Switchblade, Goddard's, and Terry.
Terry who?
Rob Terry.
Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, Terry Butter.
Let's not get confused with the other Terry.
So then
Or the other Terry.
Gerard Park Trash comes out at the end of the show, gets involved, and tries to defend Chris Sharp because Rob Terry looks like he's going to beat him up to a buddy pulp. But
You can't do that to Sharp.
Rob Terry clocked Trash,
Oh my god.
and that was the end of the show. Yeah.
No.
So, good stuff from OVW this week. There's a show on Sunday at Derby Expo 5. I was well aware. I heard that the main event match between Spade and Ola Valencia was a hell of a match.
Did you say that 3 times fast?
What?
Let's not.
That's not. No. They tore the house down. Good stuff by them. Absolutely. And then tonight, a little preview of what's going on tonight. There's a new episode of Straight Talk.
Yes, with
Brandon
Espinosa.
Chris Silvio does defend his television title again
Against
somebody.
I don't know who he was.
And in the main event, you had Shiloh Jones versus Jamin Lavencia for the number one contenders match for the OVW Heavyweight Championship. So good stuff from OVW as always. Check out OVWrestling.com for more updates. They post their shows on Thursdays, and also if you live in the Louisville area, go to channel 138 WKYI for OVW on Saturdays at 1 o'clock and 9 p.m.
Especially next week.
Yes.
Especially next week. So moving on to WWE.
Before we get into SmackDown, we'll go over that headline real fast.
Because TMZ is terrible.
Well, what's going on basically is there's a big story about FCW and they were canceling it. It wasn't going to happen anymore.
Go ahead. Why you stop talking? Keep going. I'm listening.
FCW, they were gonna, close their doors. People have a misconception of what was going on with that. Basically, the network that broadcasted is the Bright House Sports Network. They're not going to broadcast anymore. FCW's not done. Those guys aren't going anywhere. It's the network that broadcasts is not going to broadcast anymore. They have to find a new network, which they should have no problem with. So.
They're not done. It was
it was just a big thing. I mean, because people don't get their facts straight before they break.
So now moving on to SmackDown. And I'm sure you like this beginning. Christian brought back the Peep Show.
So what does that mean for SmackDown?
Christian's back.
I mean, I think Christian's back in a big way.
And I was going to say, it was also announced that Christian would be on Team Johnny at WrestleMania.
Right, and that, of course, got huge implications.
Yeah, Christian being on WrestleMania, pretty good for you.
Right.
I'm excited about that. Good to see Captain.
A huge show.
Yeah. So then, a match I wrote down, Cody Rhodes defeated the Great Khali, which I think is good momentum for him.
Yes.
Going into the match against the Big Show, beating a big guy.
And
I do think Cody's going to lose.
I think the way we can expand this is if Cody Rhodes, since he did knock out the Khali, it becomes a possibility that he will still beat the Big Show, which goes back to our point earlier. And I think that's definitely something you got to keep in mind.
Right.
Tune in next week on SmackDown where Cody Rhodes fights a pillowcase.
He couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag.
We're almost done here and you got to do that. Oh my god. So,
Cage really though? The Great Khali? Really?
He's a former world champion.
Really?
He is, really.
I know, but still.
So then Kane issued a challenge to Randy Orton for WrestleMania. We saw this coming.
We already knew that, so you can move on.
Saw this coming. And then the main event was Chris Jericho defeated Sheamus via count, so this is good for Jericho as a win over Sheamus. But I was doing outside interference too. Yes! Yes! Daniel Bryan.
And I
told you about doing that on the show.
Yeah.
No!
I think this definitely builds some great momentum. Putting Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, pushing that match a little bit into the limelight because it's kind of taken a back seat
a little bit.
To the whole Cena and the end of an era thing.
Right.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, I do think Daniel Bryan and Sheamus is a big deal just because it's like the sort of main event because Sheamus did win the Royal Rumble.
It seems like it's kind of forgotten that
I'm very surprised
it is
that Bryan has kept the title this long. I'm very surprised. I'm starting to lean towards I like Daniel Bryan. I like his gimmick. I think it's pretty interesting the way he does the yes thing. And I was going to mention this because it wasn't really an important match. It wasn't relevant. But AJ did fight Brie Bella, and when she won, Daniel Bryan gets the ring and celebrates like he won the match. So he's getting a little bit of charisma, which I like to see from Bryan.
Now let me ask you this: does this set up the possibility that Sheamus wins at WrestleMania?
I think so. I think they're building to again. I'm very surprised that Daniel Bryan's been the champion that he is. I'm surprised he still has it. But at the same time, I think they're building towards having Sheamus be the guy on SmackDown for now. Giving him the belt. He won the Royal Rumble last year. The titles didn't change hands at all. This year, I think they both changed hands.
I was going to say that exactly. Last year, we didn't see any titles change hands as far as
Well, one was because of injury with
still
Edge, and then one with Miz and John Cena. That's a pretty big surprise that you didn't have John Cena become champion at the end of WrestleMania, but they had their reasons because of The Rock.
Right, absolutely. So it was awful.
All right, so moving on to Monday Night Raw. Very interesting again. Chris Jericho. I did apologize for the comments he made previously about Punk's father, but took another shot. Took a shot at Punk's sister, which you don't do. Basically, Punk's sister had abuse problems, according to Jericho.
Why? Okay, they're trying to build this feud up. They're trying to make it out to be really good, which it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're both really good on the mic.
Absolutely.
They're probably the two of the best wrestlers in the company today, obviously. Ever, probably. Mm-hmm. So, why not make it like all out personal?
I applaud.
It's great for the business. Yeah. It's great for the storyline. I mean, it makes a lot of a lot of sense to do what they're doing. And we know it probably Punk had to give permission for him to talk like that because I mean,
I applaud Punk a lot.
Really, I mean, can you just imagine if he didn't allow it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he made his look and his demeanor as Jericho was saying what he was saying. He made it look all so realistic and so like he was very angry, which is great. And when you're building the storyline, that's what you want.
Right.
You want it to draw attention to the situation. You want this match to be built up, and they're doing a very good job of building this match up. And the guys aren't having to do a whole lot to
Right.
build the matchup because
It's building itself.
Exactly, because they're both so good at the mic and the in-ring work that they're just going with the flow, and it's going good. It's building itself.
Jericho wants to make it personal.
Right.
Right, so it's very good. It's a good storyline by WWE. It's a good storyline, by all parties involved pertaining to this match. I like where this feud is going, and I hope it goes past WrestleMania, which I'm sure it will.
Yeah, I'm sure so.
Because this is a very good feud, and we haven't seen them in the ring against each other
Which is
enough,
good. Which is good. I think.
Which is even better.
Makes the match more special.
It makes it even a better match, which
Right.
I like how they've written it to where, although we did see a little Rocky-esque out of Jericho this past week because he was via satellite, so that was one I was kind of like, we could have done without that.
But
all in all, great storyline. I love where it's headed. I love the direction it's going.
I do too.
So,
what else can be said?
Right. So Kane picked up the win of the Big Show. Big surprise. Actually, I thought the Big Show would win that one, but he
And
didn't.
I like the way that this pushed the match once again.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not so much that Kane and Big Show fought.
Right.
Who cares?
Right.
What was the important thing is what happened after the match with Cody Rhodes putting on the boxing gloves, tying up Big Show, and delivering those punches to the head.
Yeah.
Obviously, adding more steam
Yeah.
after what happened with the Great Khali, added more steam to their match at WrestleMania.
Right.
And once again, makes me think that somehow he's going to retain the championship.
Right.
Somehow.
It's hard for me to say, but And then I said on Facebook, I think you saw it as well. Cody Rhodes played the part of Little Mac, and the Big Show was the part of King Hippo.
There we go.
That was pretty
That's
funny.
all it was.
So then, moving on from
So the big question that came out of Monday, one of the biggest questions, was the John Cena accident a work? Was it a storyline? Was it real?
According to all reports, it was legit. No one was hurt.
That's why I questioned.
Yeah, and the fact that they were in, that he was there that night. Usually, if you're in an accident, you're not cleared for any physical activity for at least 24 hours.
Exactly.
No matter if no one's hurt or not, because especially when you're rear-ended, like what they said, you want to monitor your back. And this is me showing a little bit of why I am a doctor, Michael Cage. You want to monitor your back for lower back spasms and basically whiplash. So you're not cleared for any physical activity for at least 24 hours because of things like this. I think it was obviously storyline. It was good enough though to get people talking, and it adds to what's going on with the Rock.
Absolutely.
Is Cena going to be okay for his match at WrestleMania?
Right.
I think it was definitely a clever way where it's not sickening. Oh my God, Cena got into a wreck and 14 people were injured, one person was killed. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't a sickening way to go about it.
Right.
We know that the WWE's crossed that barrier before without good results, and I like the way that they definitely did not cross the line.
I don't know if they go into it more. Maybe then it's a storyline, but I think if it's one and done, I think it might have been something that just happens. So.
And my God, was that a horrendous rock bottom? Jeez, Pete. Who could have thought that would have...
Cena did fight Mark Henry, beat him, and then The Rock says, I'll show you one better. He rock bottom Mark Henry. Mark Henry's like, whoa, I thought we were bros. Nation of domination, man. Come on.
That was, wow. That shook the ring.
Yeah, really.
That was crazy.
And then the thing, of course, you couldn't end Raw any better.
Well, before you get to that, the storyline that WWE's working on, it is the main eventer from last year's WrestleMania still doesn't have a match at this WrestleMania.
Right.
You have The Miz, who, if he wins or if he impresses Team Laurinaitis enough, he gets to be in the Team Laurinaitis versus Team Long match. However, Sheamus
He fights the fella.
Sheamus wins, so it's furthering the status of we're only one Raw away from WrestleMania, and the main eventer from last year doesn't have a match this year. And it's even been brought up. It's even been brought up by Miz himself. This hasn't happened since King Kong Bundy at He was the main event at WrestleMania 2 against Hulk Hogan in a steel cage match. The next year he fought Hillbilly Jim and a team of midgets. So, I know, right? I know, right?
What a way to go.
What a way to go. So, what is WWE looking to do with The Miz here? What are they trying to get? At what kind of angle do you think they're going here?
I think, believe it or not, I think he's going to end up on Team Long.
I don't think he ends up on any of those teams. I think he has some involved at WrestleMania. I don't know if it's going to be a match or not. Maybe have like a one-off match. I don't see him being on a team thing. I see Miz being eventually moved to SmackDown, honestly. Moving over there.
I see Miz getting involved with the Rock Cena match.
Possibly.
Because there's been rumblings that The Rock's actually going to stay around. That
Shocker.
He is not leaving. He is staying around. That he's going to feud with The Miz, apparently. And that Cena versus Rock will have a rematch at SummerSlam. But we'll see where all that goes. But I was just thought that, they keep pushing this main eventer from last year. Doesn't have a match this year thing. And it's interesting to note where it's going to go. So.
And as you were saying about the end of the show.
The end of the show, I can't imagine the electricity and the tension that built up when when Shawn Michaels, of course, came out, said what he said, and then the Undertaker came out to add to that, and then of course, all three of them in the ring at the same time, going back and forth. I just don't see how you could have ended it any better. It's building up that rivalry up a little bit more. We're all up for end of the era. And like I said, the things that were said this match, Undertaker leaving, but before he leaving, telling Triple H, remember I told you that Shawn is better than you.
Yeah, he is.
And I think that all this is adding, if I'm any superstar, just out of respect for the three of them, I don't want to follow that match.
No.
I don't see how it cannot be the last match. I get the year's worth of promotion. I get that. I just don't see how you can justify ending an era without ending WrestleMania.
I'd just be very surprised if Roxanne didn't finish just because there's so much hype behind it.
Right.
I'd just be surprised. So.
I'd be absolutely surprised. I mean, it'll be a shocker to me.
But it wouldn't be surprised to me, like a big one. I'd still be like really? I thought Rox, but I could see his point. That would make me more. If that's the main, if the order I picked and he picked, if Triple H Taker is 7th, if there's late matches, if that's 7th and Roxanne is 8th, then I could say Taker's probably going to win. But if it's the main event, I might lean more towards Triple H if that's the last match.
And I just still can't see it. I know you say that.
If it's the last match,
it's Taker's thing.
Like I'd go 60-40 Taker if it's match 7. If it's match 8, I go 50-50.
All right, so that covers Raw. We are a little over a week away from WrestleMania.
Next week we'll do our pick'ems, I guess.
We'll do our WrestleMania.
Hey, they actually won 4 matches this time.
We actually pick 8, so we could be very bad, actually. So that covers wrestling this week, guys. And now moving on to you, sir, to kick off our wild card portion of the show.
What a wild card this is.
So moving on up there, sir. Wild card away.
When we were kids, what did you normally watch?
Transformers.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm actually looking for cartoons. But anyway, so we watched cartoons.
That is a cartoon.
Transformers.
I was looking for a generic answer of cartoons. But
okay,
anyway.
the Flintstones.
No, I was looking for the word cartoons. But anyway. Anyway.
You're talking to the Doctor and Postmaster. We're a little bit more intellectual than cartoons.
Whatever. Anyway.
That's right.
Anyway. So, like they said, they watched cartoons as kids, okay? We all did. Comic books.
He asked for a particular name.
I said, whatever. Can I move on here? So anyway, what a fail this is.
Yes, it is.
Teenage Mutant Turtles, as you said, okay?
Yes.
Probably a good point. Teenage Mutant Ninja
Turtles!
Thank you.
Yes, what about it?
Everyone knows the story.
The story's epic.
Little 4 turtles getting some toxic ooze, and they get some powers of ninjas, and they're trained by
They become epic.
And they're trained by a rat. Don't explain. Don't ask whether they're trained by a rat. They just are.
Hey, his name's Splinter. You respect him, sir.
I made another funny. Anyway.
And the bad guy, Shredder.
Kevin Nash?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, enough tomfoolery in this wild card. This is a serious topic.
This is serious.
Michael Bay. Oh, Michael Bay. You may have done some pretty good things with Transformers. I give you that.
And Bad Boys.
Except the last Transformers was kind of...
Watch your mouth.
Oh, you're going to get him fired up. You're talking about trans failures.
Anyway. Easy, fella. Easy. Lower it down a notch. Or 2. Or 5.
It's okay.
This isn't the topic at hand. The topic at hand here is Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
they are turtles.
Yes, they are.
Michael Bay, what does he want to do? Well, the new Ninja Turtles movie they are making sometime soon, and I think it's coming out next year.
What are you doing over there?
I'm keying it in.
Anyway,
That was
let him
So,
finish.
instead of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Aliens.
Why?
The turtles are gonna be aliens? No one is gonna see your movie!
F-A-I-L! Fail!
That is a big fail.
You are
Huge
rating
fail.
every single Teen
Oh my God.
Ninja Turtles fan. People want, if you don't change this, people will not see this movie. They will not support this movie.
You're
No.
gonna lose money on this movie?
That's like changing the story of Batman. The story is right there for you. You don't change anything. They are not aliens. They've never been aliens. They never will be aliens. They're not
There was one
aliens.
alien, Krang. But
I mean the turtles themselves.
Yeah. You don't
You don't
change
change
it.
this.
Exactly. It's like you said. You if you want to make a movie about the Ninja Turtles, great. Make a movie about the Ninja Turtles, but don't say they were aliens. That's so bad.
What are you,
Michael
Steven
Bay.
Spielberg with aliens here? Come
Michael
on.
Bay likes to put his own personal touch on stuff, but this is going too far. This, I mean, it's something minor. No, actually, it's not minor. It's a minor subject in the course of the world. It's minor, but this is major for geeks. I mean, major for geeks and nerds, and we definitely fall into that category.
Michael Bay, I know you've got a brain. Every single person in the world has a brain. Use it.
It is too huge of an origin change for your movie to handle them being aliens.
If we didn't have such an epic, over-the-top idiot of the week, Michael Bay would be our idiot of the week.
Alright, so that's my wild card. Please fix this for the love of God.
Jesus. My wild card this week, some historical happenings in the world of Kentucky high school athletics. For the first time in the history of the KHSSA, the Trinity Shamrocks were the first high school ever
Alright, Chris Jericho.
to win the state football title and the state basketball title in the same school year. Not to mention, the Trinity Shamrocks played Scott County for the football championship, and they played Scott County for the basketball
Good job by Scott County to get involved. They could have done it too. They could have done it. Scott
I
County.
mean, they could have done it too. I mean, congrats to them to making it to the championship.
But if you know anything about high school sports here in Louisville, Trinity just rules everything.
So, some historic, like I said, it had never happened before. The last time it could have happened, my wife's school, male, they had a chance to do it back in, I think, 01.
01.
Yes. They had won the football championship. They had one of the most epic basketball teams. They had Larry O'Bannon, who was a star at University of Louisville. They also had Michael Bush was on that team, so who was also a star at Louisville. And they come up just a bit short, but Trinity does cash in. So hats off to the Rocks, Coach Mike Szabo. Very good season all around. Obviously, if you can sweep the two major sports in the same season, you're doing pretty daggone good. So, Doc?
Basically, my wild card boils down to hypocrisy. We've got a situation that really has been brewing for the last 20 years, but has gotten worse with the addition of UPS. And what I mean is this. There's a shot that is played on the end of every March Madness trailer for CBS. And it is Christian Laettner in the 1992 Duke versus UK game, draining the three-pointer at the last second.
Two-pointer.
No, it was a three. It was a three.
I think he was at the
No,
free throw line,
because
wasn't
what
he?
happened was Kentucky hit a three to put him up by one.
I would have to agree with him
Yeah.
because I think the Swanson's nightmares every single night.
Yeah,
So.
and Christian Laettner then comes back down and hits the three to put them back up by one. So what happens was Christian Laettner comes down to the shot and drains the deep three. End of story. Propels Duke to the next round. It was not the championship game, but it does happen on that watch.
It was like the Elite Eight or something.
Yeah, it was the
Final
Elite Eight.
Four.
Yeah. So what happens is this: UPS picks up this shot and Duke as a sponsorship for UPS. Okay, they play it throughout this March Madness trailer, throughout this March Madness thing, and they show the shot. And of course, Duke loses in the second round or in the first round to Lehigh. Okay? Point is this. The shot is replayed on a banner of sportsmanship. But what people don't, they show you the shot, but they do not show you the stomp. And what happens is, in the wake, before Christian Laettner gets down in position to shoot his shot, which PostMaster is currently checking on.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Before he does this, there's a kid on UK's team that gets stepped on by Christian Laettner as a technical.
2-pointer.
It was a 2-pointer. I'm sorry. It was a 2-pointer. Yeah, because you're right. Because Kentucky nails the 3 to put them up by 1, and the game is a 1-point victory. So yeah, it would have to be a 2-pointer to hit them up to get them up by 1. He's right. I'm sorry about that. It was a deep 2, but it was.
It was a deep 2, but it was.
It was a 2. Okay, so getting back to my point. Christian Laettner steps on a guy by the name of Timberlake. Or not Justin Timberlake, but Timberlake. Alright? And then stuffs his foot like this, like he's kicking dirt on him. No call at all. Alright? Now when you're playing something on the banner of sportsmanship like the NCAA is, they have idolized this shot for over 20 years. It's now picking up endorsements. This is not the way you want to go when you are running your banner on sportsmanship, because that is the worst display of sportsmanship I've ever seen. And to me, it completely, and it's not, I would love for Kentucky just to be involved in the greatest game of all time, which people are saying the 1992 Duke-Kentucky game were. People bill it as the greatest game and the greatest shot of all time. But to me, the bad sportsmanship completely takes away the fact that it was a great game. Because up until he steps on this guy for no reason at all and then kicks dirt.
I just researched it for you. His name is Aminu Timberlake.
Yeah.
Aminu
There we go.
Timberlake.
Thank
so,
you.
You're welcome.
Aminu Timberlake gets stepped on and dirt scuffed in his face,
God, I love
completely taking the good sportsmanship out of the sport, and the NCAA idolizes this shot for the next 20 years, and now UPS is starting to pick up for it. Make up your mind. Do you want? If you do want to be about sportsmanship, great. Take this shot out. I would love for Kentucky to be part of the greatest game ever played, but the fact that this happened completely nullifies the fact that it was the greatest game ever played. And I told them earlier. I said, in my opinion, Kentucky is part of the greatest game ever played. Kentucky, North Carolina, earlier this year, perfectly officiated. Everything was perfect. Win by 1 point against North Carolina. I definitely think that was a great game. Probably the greatest game of all time now.
What do you think?
I mean, there's nothing more I can say. He's a huge Kentucky fan on this bunch, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to Kentucky basketball. I've seen that shot a zillion times.
No, I mean, well, do you think it should be shown, or should they not show it? Like, what do you...
I think it should be shown only because it's an infamous moment. Just the points he made, it shouldn't be proclaimed as the greatest shot of all time if it wasn't supposed to happen that way. But it is an infamous. It is an infamous shot, and it's a shot everyone's going to remember. So whether we like it or not, they're going to show it regardless. But it is an infamous shot, but it's not...
Right, and I will never argue that it's not an infamous shot, because it is.
I think it's kind of weird that probably Kentucky's largest employer uses that as a commercial.
That's the definition of irony.
Yeah. But let's not forget they are in Louisville. So
that might be why.
It could be why. I don't know, but neither here nor there. So that's an awesome segment of Wildcard. Now
for the first time in about 2-3 weeks.
This is just hilarity.
No, we had one last week.
No, Doc,
the cake?
Doc.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Idiot of the week.
Drum roll, please.
Idiot of the week.
So
that needs to change. Really does.
So
maybe next week I'll change it.
So let me. You have a big tree in your yard.
Yeah. Sit down, grab your cup of coffee, pay attention to this.
What do you want to do? You have a big tree, 200-300 feet. What is your legitimate fear when it is about 10 yards from your house?
Falling on my house.
Right. That's your legitimate fear. What do you do in that case?
Cut it down.
You cut it down.
No, well,
but you call a tree service to have them come out.
You get someone to cut it down.
You get someone, and what's the key word there?
You get somebody.
Exactly. So we had somebody in Washington State.
Oh yeah.
Seattle, right?
Yeah, Seattle. Thank you. Yeah, Seattle. They said, I think I can take care of this tree myself.
Oh, you can't.
So they cut the tree. And it falls on their house. Because,
Dear, I made a new space in the living room.
to quote an old famous Andy Griffith show,
I know you wanted a sunroom, so here you go.
just call the man. Jeez, come on, Aunt B, call the man.
Honey, I got some good news and bad news.
Good news and some
The
bad
good news is I got rid of that tree. The bad news is we gotta move.
Oh my!
I'll see you later.
How dumb can you be? A tree that tall.
This may take the cake of idiot of the week for a while.
This ranks right up there with the moron that sold the safe with the $20,000.
Yeah, that's up there.
This is right up there. This
We might want to talk to each other about it.
Wow. So there you go. If you want a tree removed, don't do it yourself.
or just call the gentleman in Seattle. He'll do it for
Just
you.
call the man.
You get a new house,
You
apparently.
get a new house. It's cool.
Maybe the guy with the safe can help pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Morons!
What a funny idiot of the week. I love it. I love it. I think that wraps it up.
That wraps up this show for this week. Anything else, guys, that you have on your minds?
It was an action-packed show.
Action-packed
I
show.
can't wait to look forward to Sweet 16 and Elite 8 action. I mean, all the excitement that college basketball brought us last week. I only hope it measures up to close what we got last week, because we got so much excitement last week.
Gosh.
I don't know if we can get even close to topping this week.
Absolutely. So, if you want to like us on Facebook, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. You can follow us on Twitter at triplethreattalk, and you can send us any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. So, Triple Threat Talk, this is Big B. Also, check out the Hunger Games this weekend starring Little's own Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
This is Postmaster Jones saying go Cards, and my bracket sucks.
This is the doctor saying go all local teams. Cards, Cats, IU, well, not IU. Cards, Cats, Xavier, and Cincy.
Thanks everyone for watching. I finally found out what Rossa meant. The answer? Next week.
What?